Welcome everyone to this Kiss Classic. Really a great Bruce Kulick licks in this. There's a great video. Somebody must have been a guitar player recording him do this. He's playing with a band in Chile. I think he's just sitting in with the band, but they just focus on him playing the solo. And he plays it true to form, even most of the songs. So I used a lot of that, some live Kiss stuff to see what Paul is doing, because of course there's two guitars and Paul does a little bit different. So I'm going to talk about that. I've written my notes out. The link will be below the video so you can download the tab if you want to follow along. We're going to talk about the counts, the licks. I'll go over the solo as best I can, because you know, Bruce is an extremely good player. Even just watching him pick this, he has great picking technique too. And I did have a brush with Bruce one time. I was selling an ESP Strat style guitar, and he contacted me on eBay and needed to know the weight, and it ended up being heavier than he was interested in, but great guy. Okay, this song is tuned a half step up, be at F on the 6th string, and about a half step sharp. So it's a half and another, let's just say quarter. What is it? 3/4 step tuned up. So it should sound like this if you want to play along with the recording. Your A. And your D. So you can take it from there, but again, Kiss normally tunes down a half step, but this time they're tuned up a half step and then even a quarter from there. So I've written that out again in my notes. I'm going to go through this with that tuning and play the song so you can see how it all fits together. We'll get into the lesson. What we're going to do is start out with 8 counts of 4. Okay, so it's quick. It's 1 2 3 4 1 2 2 3 4 3 2 3 4 4 2 3 4 5 2 3 4 up to 8 2 3 4. You can also count 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and up to 8E and but 8 4 counts on an open 6th string, 7th fret of the 5th string, and 9th fret of the D string. So we're playing basically in E power chord. Okay, after the 8 count of 4, what we go into, again, Bruce does this a couple different ways. I've seen him do it with where he's playing this form of E. It'd be like a C chord moved all the way up to your let's see, what is that, 4th position. You would have your small finger on the 9th fret and your middle finger on the 8th fret, sorry. And that's just basically the 1st and 3rd of an E chord. So he's referencing E chord there. And then he moves to a B note on the 5th string, all right? And he's going to hit that twice. Then he's going to take his pinky, hit the 5th fret of the 5th string, slide up to 7. So far we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a slide down from that 6 and 7. And then we come back to that 5 on the 5th string, and then the 6 and 7 again to start off. So the next part he does is we're just going to be playing double stops on the 7th fret to the 5th fret, and then kind of sliding into the 9th fret. Okay, I did put some incidentals in there if you want to do them. It's basically just before we hit the 7th fret, we hit the muted A string. then we're going to go to our slide and then a muted A string again before we hit 7 again. So every time before the 7th, you want to mute the A string. Okay, that's a little exaggerated, but if you listen to me play it, you'll hear that. Okay, again, it's feel. Go with how you feel and what makes you feel comfortable. That's how I wrote it out for you. So Paul's way of playing this will be like this. Okay, so what we're doing there, basically we're going to start playing an E chord. I like to move my finger position so my middle finger is at that 9th fret now. I'm sorry, 7th fret. And I'm going to hit the 6th string at 7 to the 5th string at 5 to 7. And we'll hit the 6th string at 7 twice. And then we slide up. So we have this. Take it from the whole thing. Okay, so we're sliding up from that 5 to 7 on the 5th string. Then we're going to hit an open E chord. This is just helping with the timing, okay? So we hit the open 6th string, and it's really kind of muted, and back to an E chord. All right, so let me take you through this slowly. Then we go to our, let's see, that's a D to C, and then E to D. So you'll do that twice, just like the intro with Bruce is doing. Okay, and then we're into the verse. So when we get into the verse, the one thing I want to say about this, you know, Bruce is a very accomplished player. He knows his theory. I don't know if you know it, on Kiss Unplugged, he taught Ace and everybody how to play Beth acoustically. He sat there and transcribed it out and taught everybody how to play that acoustically, and really kind of put himself out of a job with Kiss, because then the reunion happened, and then yeah. So anyhow, but he's very accomplished. So the thing with that said, the chords he plays they're not your typical power chords. We're going to play, let's say, an E chord, and we'll be on the 7th fret of the 5th string, 9th fret of the 4th and 3rd, but you want a bar, so you're crossing that whole 7th fret and playing those 2nd and 1st strings with the bar. So with the E chord, this is an E suspended 2nd. Okay, he moves that down to a D suspended 2nd and a C suspended 2nd. So listen, you'll hear those notes. You know, as I got into this and watched him play this, again, he's very accomplished, and God bless him. So the other thing you want to do during the verse is you want to strum it with a da-da-da. So it's a down, up, down. Okay, so listen to how he plays it. You'll hear that at the appropriate parts. But for the verse, what we do is our E, suspended 2nd. I just wrote it out as E. And then D, back to E. All right, the second time through, when we come back to D, he does a little bit different move. So what we're going to do is move our first finger down from the 5th fret to the 4th fret. And if you hit the third string, that's fine, but try not to because it's a little bit dissonant. That's an A at 11th. But if you just play it this way, just playing those two strings as a power chord, it sounds a little bit different. Again, Paul Stanley does this. I've seen him do it. And the actual second verse is a little bit different because there's a bass that moves through and he follows it the second time through. So I'll show you that. So again, verse 1 up to this point, we've got an E, 2 4 counts to a D. Alright, back to our E. Now when we go to the D and then our A at 11th, I'm just going to call it that, we'll do 1 count each. Back to an E for 2 4 counts. D and then C D. And then you're into the chorus, which is basically the same as the intro, minus the E power chord. There's none of that. They just go right into Alright, so now we're into the second verse. Again, we're going to do it E to D, back to E. Second time through, we'll go D and then down, and then we're going to do a lick. Alright? Let me do that for you so you can see how it goes. Okay, so that lick, after we hit our D, suspended second, we're going to move to that A11 and just hit that 4th string again. You want to change position so your middle finger's there. You're going to hit that 4th string to the 4th fret on the 5th string to the 2nd fret of the 5th string to open it. So it'll sound like this. And then you're right back into your E suspended. Okay, and so then we come back to our E, D, and then C, D. And then you're into the, actually, let's see, the chorus again, which would do that. When we do the chorus, it's 3 times through. Okay, so after the second chorus, went to the solo rhythm. So the solo rhythm will be 6 counts of 4 for the E. And we're going to move to D for 2 counts of 4. Back to E for 2 counts of 4. Then we go to C. This changes a little bit. We're going to go to C for 1 count of 4. Up to D for 1 count of 4. Alright. Now we move up to our E. 2 4 counts. D 2 4 counts. Alright. Then we move to C for 2 for 4 counts. This is when the vocals come in. To D. And back to C again for 2 4 counts and D for 2 4 counts. And I've written that out so you can follow along if you're not playing the solo. I'm going to go over the solo and what he's doing. Again, I've written this out so it'll be much easier if you're playing along. And, you know, I have a link to Riff Station. You can download that and slow this song down. And we'll go over that next. So the first section of the lead that we'll take will go like this. Alright, so basically we're going to start out on the 3rd string, 7th fret, some vibrato, then we're going to come up to that same note, D note, on the 2nd string at 15. Some vibrato, then we're going to come back to the 4th fret of the 4th string to 5. Some vibrato there, and then he's going to walk through an E sus2 chord. So we're going to slide in 4th string at 9, hit the 3rd string at 9, and end up on the 2nd string at 7. Then you're going to hear him come up to the 12th position on the 2nd string, strike that with a bend up and release and pull off to 12, hitting 15 back again. And some vibrato there. Next section of the solo sound like this. Alright, so we'll stop there. What he's doing is we're going to hit the 4th and 3rd string at 9 once each, back and forth. Coming to the 2nd string at 7, hit it again with a bend and release, then hit it unbent. Then we come to the 3rd string, 9, 7, and then 7 again with a bend and release to hit 4 on that 3rd string. Then what we do is on the 7th fret of the 4th string, we're going to bend it, release, pull off to 5, and end up on 7 again. Alright, the next section is really quick, and Bruce pulls it off just beautifully, but it'll sound like something like this. Alright, so we're going to start out on the 1st string at 7 and then quite a bend or stretch up to 12. So we'll hit 7 on the 1st string and then we'll hit 12 on the 1st string, pulled back off to 7. So you want to kind of put your first finger across the 2nd and 1st string because you're going to be pulling off here. So we're going to pull off from 12 to 7 on the 1st string. Then we go to the 2nd string with 2 pulls off from 12 to 7. And repeat that. Alright, so far we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just kind of come back into a normal scale pattern at the 10th fret with our 2nd string. Pull that off from twice, 10 to 7. Then 8, 7. Then we go up to the 3rd string, 7 pulled off to 9, and then 9 pulled off to 7, and then we're going to hit 7 and slide up to 9. Alright, so all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next lick, extremely cool. It'll go like this. Alright, we're getting towards the end of the solo. What he does there is we're going 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string from, let's see, that's 14 fret, 2nd string, 15 fret, 17 on the 1st string. One more time. Then we're going to skip 15 the first time through. We're going to go 14 to 17, kind of reverse our flow. Alright? And then back to 15 and 14. Alright, so we have this so far. One more time back. Then we grab 17 on the 1st string with a bunch of vibrato. And then you'll hear him do this. So it's basically 15 to 17 hammer on the 2nd string, catching 15 on the 1st, back to 17 on the 2nd with a bend and vibrato. Alright, so that whole lick together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you play along, you really hear these. That lick really stands out, especially even this. you're getting towards the end, and he's going to go into a repeated part that really picks up speed. And what he's going to do is this. And he really picks up steam. So what we're doing is hitting 15 on the second string to 12 on the first, and then 17 pulled off back to 12. And repeat that. It'll be about 11 times. Okay, and again, he'll pick up steam as he goes through that. And if you watch him do this, his picking is just excellent. It's back and forth when he needs it to be. And after that, we're going to go to this. So again, it's very fast, and I'm just not used to playing this style, but slowing it down, I could see he's taking 17 on the first string, pulling off to 12, going to the second string, doing the same thing, and then 15 to 12. And repeat that. This will be a total of 4 times. Okay, and the very last lick he does after that, he's going to come up to the 19th fret, and then hit 17 and 20 pulled back off. So it's kind of a Chuck Berry ending. He'll do that twice, and then he'll catch 20 at the first string bent up with a bunch of vibrato. Alright, so that's the lead. Again, I've written it out if you want to follow along and slow it down as best you can. After that, you're into the chorus, which is just going to fade out. So So I really hope that helps everyone play this classic song, and a great song that Bruce covers a lot, and I know he's very proud of it, so God bless him. Everybody, happy holidays. It's the night before Thanksgiving, so stay safe, please, and we'll see you in the next lesson.